So you're really busy, right? And you're trying to do everything yourself. You need help, you need to hire somebody, but what do? Where do you start? Well, today we're gonna cover the hiring process and give you the 5 points you need to make sure you include to build your team properly. CEO of SellState, and what we're going to cover today is the 5 components to the hiring process. Now, the first component might seem kind of straightforward, but it's actually quite a large mistake I see many people make. The first step is figuring out what exactly do you need. Now, oftentimes what you'll see is people run out and say, okay, I know I need help and I'm going to go hire somebody, but you're not entirely sure what skill set they have, what skill sets you're looking for.
Nunchuck skills, bow hunting skills, computer hacking skills.
So before you just run out and start posting job ads and thinking, okay, I need to hire somebody, or I'm going to talk to people I know and see who I can find, you have to figure out exactly what it is you need. And the way you're going to do that is by figuring out what exactly is that person going to be doing all day, and how is that going to help, and how is that going to contribute. So before we get too deep into the actual process, we have to figure out what exactly is it that we need. Okay, so the second step is actually pretty obvious as well. It's creating the job ad. Now, this is another area where people kind of struggle, because what happens is, okay, now we figured out what it is we're looking for, what it is we need. Now we have to create a job ad. And what I see a lot of times people do is they just jump online and they, Google search admin ad or whatever they're looking for, and then they try and sort of massage it a little bit. But you really have to take the time to create an ad properly, because the ad should not only be exciting for the candidate, but it has to be clear and make sure that it establishes what the role is, so that when you're looking to hire somebody, you're not going to get this misconception or confusion around what it is they're coming in for. So creating the ad actually is going to take some time, and that's the next part of our process. All right, so we've created this perfect job ad. What's next? Posting the ad. We want to make sure we get as much exposure as possible, because believe it or not, it might be harder to hire somebody than you think.
You want a job, Eddie?
Sure, Tony.
Okay, then you call me tomorrow.
Hey man, you got a job, huh?
So the next part is we have to make sure that we're posting the ad in all of the appropriate places that's going to maximize the reach. Not only that, but if we can, we'd like to try and focus it in locations where people who would be a good fit for the role will actually be seeing the ad as well. So now that we have the ad created, the next important part, posting the ad. All right, if we've done things right so far, we've evaluated what exactly it is we're going to need. We've taken some time to create the ad, and we've posted the ad in all the appropriate places. Now, if all's gone to plan, we should have a whole lot of resumes. The next important step is learning what you're going to do and how to evaluate those resumes, how to sort through them. Sometimes you can do things a little quickly. Sometimes you can gain some information, not just from what they've submitted, but there's tips and tricks we can do to actually get some more information about the person as we're trying to decide who we want to spend the time interviewing. So the next step in this process is evaluating the resumes. The 5th part of the process is actually the most important, which is the interview process. The interview process is an entire category onto its own. There's ways you should do interviews. There's ways you should not do interviews. There's things you should be asking people. There's things you should not be asking people. There's things that you're actually not allowed to ask people.
How much money do you make a year before taxes?
Okay, I'm actually not comfortable answering that.
Come on!
So the interview process is obviously going to be a very, very big part of all of this, and probably the most important part of all of this. So once you've identified what you're looking for, created the great job ad, posted the job ad, and evaluated the resumes, now we're into the interview process, which is probably the most important part of this whole thing. All right, so what we did here today was we really quickly and briefly overviewed the 5 components of the hiring process. Obviously, there's a lot more to go into depth, and if you stick with us, that's actually what we're going to be doing. The next series of videos coming up will be going in depth on each component of it. So we'll really be breaking down and explaining to you the do's and don'ts and what you need to be doing so that you can go out and build your perfect team. If you like what you saw here today, comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Are you hiring? Have you had success? Have you had challenges? What are some of the things you'd like to see us cover as far as the hiring process? Stick with the channel. As I said, we've got a lot more on this topic and many other things coming. There's a lot of other great videos that are on there for you to see, tips. Like, subscribe, share, ring the bells for notifications, and we will see you soon.